Well, well, well. Look what brave little mouse has come crawling into my den. An impressive feat, I must say. At least for a mortal. Why, it's not every day that you see someone such as yourself walk so brazenly into hell. The confidence on your face is something to be admired. But what else should I expect? After all, it takes a certain kind of braveness, or stupidity, to make a deal with one such as I. To make a deal with a devil. Welcome to my parlor, brave mouse. It is a pleasure to make your accommodation once again. How might I be of assistance? Actually, before we get started on the nitty-gritty of your reason for being here, allow me to alter our surroundings slightly. Make them a bit more relaxed, comfortable even. It's ever so important to me that my clients enjoy the time that they spend here. And you are no different, even though I doubt what we will be discussing will be particularly pleasant. There! Gone is my office, replaced instead by a banquet of tasty food and delightful beverages. Indulge yourself, because depending on what you say to me, little mouse, it may be the very last feast you enjoy in a very, very long time. While you do that, I just need to attend to something. Shayla, could you please rearrange my schedule for the next few hours? I expect I'm going to be a little busy. Oh, my warlock is already waiting in the lobby? Well, tell him I'll have to come back later. After all, I could take away the powers I granted with a flick of my finger, and I sincerely doubt he'd want that, would he? Thank you. 1,000 pardons, my friend. I'm ever so busy. Being a devil is a rigorous job, even on the quiet days. So many people, both mortals and immortals alike, want something from you. It's positively infuriating sometimes. People pestering me, asking for things, trying to strike a deal, or escape it. It never actually happens. My contracts are ironclad, escape-proof. There's not a single loophole in their terms, I promise you. But still they try, the fools. They always think they can outwit me, when they most decidedly cannot. But enough ranting and moaning from me. That's not what you're here for. You're here on business, my friend. With purpose. But whatever for? Ah, of course, of course. Why else would you be here except to escape? I suppose there was always the chance that you'd want to create another contract, but there isn't particularly much else you could offer me, is there? I mean, I already have dominion over your soul, and there isn't much else about you that intrigues me. Your talents, your skills, all irrelevant to one such as I. All that mattered was what makes you, you. And I already have that, don't I? Forgive me. I sign so many contracts daily that I've actually forgotten. What is it that you sold your immortal soul for again? Ah, yes. I remember now. Watching you, day in, day out of that computer. Tip-tap, typing away at that keyboard. Spurting out words, crafting sentences and forming stories. All in the hope that you might one day make it big. That you might one day have people acknowledge your talent. That you might one day be published. And have you not? Have you not succeeded in what you set out to do? Have I not fulfilled what I promised? You are a successful writer, are you not? though I suppose in a way you already were. For anyone who enjoys what it is they are doing is a success in one form or another. Sure, you could have waited. You could have bided your time like everyone else. Just play the game and master your talent in the hope someone might notice. But you didn't. You came to me and took a shortcut, and now you're trying to escape the consequences of it. But really, you should have been more specific about what kind of successful writer you wanted to be. Or perhaps should have read your contract a bit more closely before you signed that dotted line. You could have mentioned that you focus on novels, or that you have a dynamite spec script for a screenplay. Perhaps you try your hand at erotica, or dabble in science fiction. But no, you kept it vague, like all my collected souls do. You didn't think your wording through, and because of that, you left my options wonderfully open. Something I can't thank you for enough. I mean, so what if your successful writing field isn't exactly what you intended when you made the deal? It's still a successful career, is it not? Remind me, what was it? Ah, right. Well, I see you have quite a lot of fills of your scripts. More than a few upvotes on each of them, too. I would be jealous if I cared about such things. You have hundreds of very talented voice actors filling each one of your stories and waiting for more. So what seems to be the problem? Is it the medium? Or the lack of fame? Because really, my friend, if fame is all you care about rather than the joy of writing itself, perhaps that was your problem to begin with. You took your love of your art for granted, wishing instead to make a profit, when you really should have appreciated what you had, and viewed any fame you got from it as a side bonus. Well, that's just my 2 cents. I'm not judging. I've seen far worse cases than you. Why, you are barely a drop in the bucket when it comes to the depraved selfishness I've seen you mortals display. You need merely look around the halls of my home, and you'll see the millions of wretched souls I've laid claim to over the centuries, all of them screaming, begging for an escape from the torment they'll never find. Each one expanding my domain and my reputation amongst my peers, increasing my power one contract at a time. No doubt you already saw the future that lies in store for you when you entered this place. A matter I am currently intent on rectifying, by the way. I'm not entirely happy with how you managed to enter this place uninvited, even if our encounter has certainly proved amusing thus far. I'm quite intent on discovering your method of intrusion before you leave. Ah. Were you expecting me to say that you won't be leaving? No, little mouse. You still have many years of whatever it is you mortals do before you enter my home for the next infinitude. Because in case that thick head of yours needs to be told, I won't be amending our deal. I have stuck to my terms exactly as they were laid out. But you haven't, mortal. Allow me to enlighten you to the folly of your ways. Clause F, Section 6, Paragraph 6. Client will not enter the home of the contractor unless otherwise invited. Doing so will result in one of several punishments listed below. Let's take a look at those punishments, shall we? Permanent blindness, loss of limb, deafness, muteness, incognito, ooh, that's a fun one, or something ironic. Yes, I almost always choose the ironic option. It always works so wonderfully, and it never fails to put a smile on my face. So, you may return to your realm, mortal. I've grown a bit tired of looking at you and listening to your entitled problems, so I wouldn't have it any other way, really. Return to your own, to your friends and family, your pathetic little life, and when you try to put pen on paper, you will find it a mite more difficult than you did before. The ideas, the stories, the words, they'll still come to you, but you won't know what to do with them. You won't know how to lay them out. They'll never feel quite right. And while your career will still flourish, you will never be able to enjoy the art you took so decidedly for granted. So, I hope coming here and trying to weasel your way out of the consequences was worth it, little mouse. I hope the next few decades of creative bankruptcy were what you desired, because that is what you got out of this little visit, my friend. That is what you get when you deal with a devil. Huh. My, how desperately the mouse struggles to escape its trap. So anxious, so petrified in the face of its future, it would do anything to escape the approaching doom. You wish to make a bargain with me, little mouse? So be it. I see no harm in it, as always you see no harm in me watching you twist and turn in the wind, trying to escape the fate I've weaved for you. But I want you to know that your boldness, your refusal to meet your fate, isn't necessarily a boon, brave one. Should you fail to convince me of, well, whatever it is you intend to convince me of, then not only will I not do what you seek, but down will come the claw. And you won't like that, though I suspect you already know that. Yes, I assumed as much. An offer really is all you have left now. Well, what exactly do you have to give me? As I said before, I don't care for your talents. I don't care much for you personally either. All I ever wanted from you was that priceless soul of yours, and I already have that, bound in the ink you signed on the dotted line of your contract. So why would I ever accept an offer from you? What could you possibly offer me that no one else among the denizens of hell has? Consider me intrigued, little mouse. But know that if this is a trick of some kind, a trick that will almost certainly fail, mind you, then the fate that I previously bestowed upon you will seem kind when compared to the one that is to come. Now, indulge me. Tell me what you are offering. Why, of all the souls I've conquered, of all the weasels that have tried to back out of their contracts, in all their millions, I've never once heard one of them offer me that. To offer me themselves in service. Perhaps none of them thought to give it, or perhaps they were too afraid to wager it. Well, writing an art in itself takes a certain amount of bravery, doesn't it? To share something personal that you created with the rest of the world requires a certain confidence that many do not possess. Well done. You are correct, of course. None of the other Lords of Hell have their own personal writer. Not one with a free will, at least. Oh, there are many writers here in Hell, but with their souls gone, you'll often find that the magic that once flowed from their fingertips is gone as well. It is not something they care too much for, see. The other lords lack my grace, my charisma. They don't care for elegance or refinement. Now, I might have said before I don't care for your talents, and I still don't. But with a real writer by my side, a real wordsmith at my beck and call, prepared to write whatever contract or document I ask of them. My dealings will be ironclad, foolproof. While that might not sound too impressive to your ears, human, in hell, even the slightest advantage, the slightest means of standing out, can mean much for one's reputation. Plus, if word gets out that I am ending my deal slightly with what who tried to weasel out of their contract, it might mean more people are willing to try and do the same. They may think it be gullible, which will in turn mean more and more contracts, created by fools believing they stand a chance of outwitting and deceiving the king of deceivers. Very well, mortal. I accept. As always, there are certain contractual stipulations. We could worry about the nitty-gritty details later, but I'll cover the main one now. You won't be allowed to return to your world. You understand that, yes? You'll remain here, in my home, unless a day should arise I need something of you. But I doubt that will happen. I have many far more capable servants than you, of course, and I'd hate for you to get the idea you could escape. That would, of course, be a violation of your contract. Here in hell, you will find you don't age as you once did. But you'll also find the fate I inflicted upon you before, of never feeling satisfied with your writing, has not taken effect. Down here, at least. You will be praised for your talent, lauded by my fellow servants, and feel boundless satisfaction as you write, with purpose. Of course, if you cannot die of age, that does decrease your chances of death, doesn't it? Which means I can never claim your soul, by natural means at least. A small price to pay for the thousands more this deal will help me attain. So, I suppose, you clever little mouse, that you have achieved, in a way, what you set out to do. You found a loophole. Perhaps not how you imagined it, but a loophole nonetheless. Your soul is safe. You got what you wanted. I guess it really is true what they say, isn't it? Sometimes it really is better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven. Ha 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 ha!